What's going on, guys? Welcome to Featuring Code. In today's video I want to show you the complete way, I don't know, one of the best ways that I found on implementing Redux in a Next.js application with the get server-side rendering. Just to give you a bit of context, I've searched the internet for this implementation for over 30 plus hours. I spent really a lot of time concentrating on this issue because I'm new in Next.js, I'm new in working with React, with Redux also, and I didn't find a clear implementation on the project. The documentation, I didn't understand it, and I searched a lot what I wanted to do. I didn't find anything. I asked a question on GitHub, and finally this was like the last step that I couldn't reproduce to pass state between pages. But finally I got an answer and I created a project that has this implementation. I will link you to the GitHub of this project, but let's try and make it from scratch because why not? So first let's create a TypeScript React app in the terminal. Okay, so this is a terminal. I will name this project Redux implement. Okay, and we're installing. I want to go in the documentation in this video. I will go through the project and just add things from it in this new project, because as I said, there's a lot of information and it's not really good, it's not really structured the way I wanted it. So I'm looking for things to be as idiot proof as possible, little reading time, just hand it over to me and let's start developing, because I don't like to spend a lot of time in implementing, in configuring projects. I just want to start working, to start developing. But anyways, so we have an empty React project. Let's use the terminal from here, npm run dev. Yes, okay, and let's start this project in the browser. Okay, welcome to Next. So this is the default React app. Now let's add a store. So what I like to do is create an app folder, which I'm gonna put it in the root, and let's create a store folder. And in this store folder, let's create an index.ts file. Okay, so we will need some plugins to install. One of the plugins is the next-redux-wrapper. So let's install this. Oh, not here. Let me close this because I'm not using it anymore. I will use the one from this project. Okay, so I've added this, so we have the next-redux wrapper, and I will need also the Redux toolkit, which is this one. So this is the one, the Redux toolkit. Let's install this also, but save it, not just install it. Okay, and it seems that we have everything that we need in order to set up the project. Okay, let's move these files. Okay, and now, so the way Redux works by using the toolkit is you have a main file which is creating the store, it's configuring the store, and you have slices that are like that are reducers in this store. So first things first, let's create some slices here, because I want to name them as they are, and we're gonna create a new file called profile slice and product. Okay, and let's get to it. So the first thing that we need is to let's create a slice. Let's create the profile slice. So I'm gonna put this here and export default profile slice dot reducer. Okay, great. In this profile slice I want to add some configuration, so the name of this slice will be profile, the initial state. What are you doing? Name null. Okay, so I have an initial state with a name that is null, and the reducers. These reducers are mainly the actions that you will dispatch while creating working in the application. So let's call this it profile data state action and state.name equals action.payload. Okay, great. Now let's import this. So this is taken from the Redux.js toolkit. So the toolkit is the package that allows you to create slices. So you want so it's a new way of creating your store, and we have the reducers also. When you are using server-side rendering on Node.js, you will need another reducer type here, which is called extra reducers. And these extra reducers are calling an action which is called hydrate. This action is called whenever you access a page that has get server side props on it. Okay. And what we're going to do here is set the state.name equals action payload.profile.name. Great. What this does is when you will go from the server and dispatch, the hydrate will take the action payload and set it in the state, and on that page you will have the profile state initialized with name. Okay. Now let's export the actions. Profile slice actions. Okay. And that's about it for this this part. Here I will put a to do handle client side state override, and we will see what this means in a moment, but first let's continue with the store configuration. Now let's go to the oh, I can't believe I didn't copy this. So this needed to be in the profile slice, not in the index. And now let's go to the index and make the store. So the main thing here is that you need to have a function store which will call the configure store from the Redux toolkit. Okay, and here you have the reducer profile reducer, and also add the dev tools to true. These are the actual dev tools that you add, that you will see in the project. So let me just show you. Are these ones here, the Redux dev tools that you so you need to add an add-on in the browser, and you'll have, when the store is set, you'll have the Redux dev tools here. But anyways, let's get back to it. Let's import the profile reducer from slices/profile. Okay, and let's do some other things also. I want to export an app state app store type of make store. I'm gonna export a type called app state, which is a return type of app store of get state. Okay, and we will use something called thunks here. Export type app thunk return equals void. stunk action, turn type, app state, unknown, and action. Okay, and I need to import some new modules. Oh yeah, and what another thing that we will do is we will need to create a wrapper for the actual application. Equals create a wrapper of app store. So this is the type of the wrapper, and pass the body of the function make store. Okay, as you see, this create wrapper was already imported. We need to import the action from Redux. Okay, and that's about it for the store implementation. Now what we need to do is to go in the app in here in the app.js and import the wrapper from the store. Okay. Let me do some quick thing here, because I don't want to okay, so I just set the base URL, so it's gonna be easier to import all of this stuff. Okay, so I've imported the wrapper. This function remains the same, but I want to export default wrapper with Redux of my app. And right now what we have is store implementation. Let's see, cannot find. Let's see, baby, what's your problem here? App store. Why can't you find it? You can find it. I need to, yes, I need to go on npm run dev again, because this tsconfig didn't compile. And voila! If you go here in the Redux DevTools, you will see that you have the DevTools available, which means that this store is working right now. And now let's create some pages. So I want to make this index page. I want all of the pages to be server-side rendered for this project. And what I'm going to do, and the way you're doing this, is something like export const get server side props. You would export normally an async function, but right now, because we're using the wrapper, we're gonna export a constant, and then we're gonna write here the wrapper, which is as you see, imported from the app store. Let's put it here. I like to delimit imports from packages versus imports from my app. Wrapper dot get server side props. I'm passing here the store, and an async function. Okay, async arrow function. And in this async arrow function, you have the context. The context is let's just put here ctx, and let's log it to see what's in the context. Okay, and now let's refresh and go back in here, and you see you have all sorts of information, but most of the information that it's so you have the request, the response that it's on the server side, and some information about the query, resolve URL, and so on. So if you need to use this, just let's take something from the context just to show that it's here. Promise why is not up. What is your problem again? Anyways, oh yeah, and this function needs to return, maybe it's because of this, an object with props on it. Data, no, I don't have the data. Just return a props property in the object. It can be empty, but you can pass also this resolve URL if you want. Pass it like this, and you can access it then here. Resolved URL. But anyways, I digress. Just put it here. Okay. And yep, here it is. Anyways, okay. So here in this wrapper, we have this store that it's actually the store that we're using in the app. So right now what I can do is do something like store.dispatch, and the action that I've declared here and exported here. So store dispatch, set profile data, and add the name, my server name. Okay, and import this. Great. And now I have this set profile data, and what I can do next is to select resolved URL. What's the issue? The good old anyways. I need to import use selector from react-redux, and right now I'm gonna do something like const profile equals use selector, and I'm gonna pass the selector that I've defined here in the profile. And I didn't define it. Let me find it here. So it's something like export const select profile, select And what this is doing, it's actually a callback state of type app state. So this is the app state that I declared earlier here. This one. Okay. And app state. And this will return state.profile. Great. And now I will use this selector here in the index and quick fix it. Okay, and now I'm having this profile which I can use here. This is the Redux data. Let's refresh, and what do you know? We have in the state the profile name, my server name. The issue that I found, and I didn't know at first how to resolve, was what happens when you create a new page. So I'm gonna just copy this one. Let's rename it. Let's call it profile. Okay, I'm creating a new profile page. Let's remove all of this data that I don't need. Okay, and let's create a link. Navigate to profile. Okay, it's important, we need to use the link from next, because it needs to trigger the navigation via the router. Okay, refresh. What's happening? Did I? Man, I wanted to edit this. Okay, good. Welcome to NextJs. Navigate to profile. Click, we get to the profile. Yeah, as you see, I have the my server name. Why is that? Well, this is because in profile I have the same code. Duh. But what happens if I don't put here I don't put the dispatch here from the store, and I want it here in the profile. Set in index. What's happening now? Well, of course, if I'm gonna refresh, I will have nothing because I didn't set anything here. Yes, in the get server side props. But what I would expect is when you go back to the home page, and let's add the home. Okay, when I go back to the home page, I'm setting here in the home page the profile name. Okay. And when I'm going to the profile, I would expect this name, since it's client-side navigation, to be in the store. But as you see, I got to the profile and nothing is happening because the profile is null. It's overridden. And why this happens is because in the profile, this hydrate action is called. Hydrate, and let's just call this action payload to see what it's looking like. So I'm going, I will go to the home, click refresh, and you see the hydrate has this object which is called name, my server name. But when I will go to, let me put it like this to be, well, when I will go to the profile, why didn't it call? Oh yeah, the hydrate is called right now on the client. So look here. Let me go again to make this clearer. So this hydrate is called on the client. I hit refresh. I have the hydrate that it's on the index with the correct data, but I have it also in the client. And when I'm clicking again on the, where are you? On the navigation, it's not calling hydrate here, but it's calling it here, and it's calling it with null, which means, oh yeah, and this resolved URL is called from this console log. And the way to fix this, and this is where I spent all of my brain cells, is to make sure that you modify the state on the client only if you have the data that you're interested in. So here you can do something like if action profile name, or if not action profile name, return state. And what this will do is you will go to home, you will have your server name attached, and now we will go to the profile, and you'll see that you need first, let me refresh. Okay, you will see that I have my server name. So the state remains here in the Redux. It should be here in the Redux. Why isn't it here? Hey, back with this missing state in Redux. I just realized that I was on the browser, but I've loaded the application in the incognito mode, and here the state is being kept. So go to the home, refresh. Okay, having the state here, go to profile, and it's still the state. At least it looks like it's working. So the state keeps itself. So I think that it was just a problem with the browser settings or something. I think it kept from the other project or something like that, some conflicts, I don't know. But yeah, so the state keeps staying when you go through the projects, through the pages. Okay, thanks guys, thanks for watching, and see you next time.